again, everyone. I hope you're being safe and healthy. Okay, so I have a class later this morning, mga in about 10 minutes mag-start mo ang class, but I am utilizing this vacant time para ma-maximize ako ang productivity. Okay, class? So as promised for my performance management students, okay, so I will talk about balanced scorecard. Balanced scorecard is actually a management approach. Back when I was still prior sa pag-join ako sa GRMSU, our organization is balanced scorecard. So honestly, class, when it was first introduced to us, no, so naay murag nag-lecture na mo about it. When we first adopted it, wala kay ko pa kagets, honestly. But as the years go by, dili siya ingon nga diretso kong sabot, but as the years go by, from me being procedural lang about balanced scorecard, identifying the four perspectives, as I began to realize nga naadjud siya gamit in an organization, and it's good that I had those realizations because I get to explain this all now to you. Okay, so again, class, balanced scorecard is a holistic management approach. Why holistic? Because when the business doing well, successful ba ang usa ka business? So the usual or the default answer to that would be to look at the financial statements, lantawon if it's profitable, if it's doing well in terms of its assets, in terms of its liabilities. So and why not? So di ba? Kanang the purpose of having a business is actually to gain profits, but dili lang kay na siya. The ultimate goal should be total customer satisfaction, because if the customers are satisfied, profits will follow. But anyway, going back. Okay, so the default is lantawon siya ang success sa usa ka business in terms of money. Okay, di ba? Financial statements ko din imo ang lantawon, but with the framework balanced scorecard, it's holistic approach because it measures a business success in terms of financial and non-financial factors. That's why, class, the balanced scorecard has four perspectives, no? So you already know, since it's on your modules, so it has four perspectives, namely the effective, we have the customer perspective, then we have the internal business processes perspective, and the learning and growth. So these four perspectives, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what are those? So again, class, pag magbasa mo sa inyo ang module, do not memorize, but instead subtunjud nato. That's why I'm having this lecture, so that ma-elaborate pa jud nako what's on your module. Okay, so as you can see, ang financial perspective, it's there. Mo na siya pinakataas nga level sa balanced scorecard because it's the usual. The business of the success of a business is measured and growth in terms of key financial parameters and performance like liquidity, solvency. You are all management accounting students, right? So you are already familiar with all those financial ratios, no? And ROE, return on equity. Okay, so return on investments. So all those things. So is the organization na ba siya higher profit margin, or improve ba ang iyang cash flows? Lower ba ang iyang mga liabilities? What else? Does it have reduced overhead expenses, no? Naka-minimize ba siya sa iyang mga expenses? And those are the things that is usually examined sa financial perspective, kay financial man siya. So sayon ra siya. So the source of that would be the financial statements because it's financial perspectives. And the next perspective would be customer perspective, because class, ato ni siyang pabalik taron ha, pero pwede ra po nato siyang i-discuss later pa gikan sa ubos pa dong sa taas. Karon nag-una ta sa financial perspective. Okay, financial perspective. Now, there is always a reason why, let's say for example, an organization has higher kanang profit margin, no? An organization has higher sales compared to the other competitors. Now, there is always a reason to that, no? If you ask, okay, why is the business doing well in terms of its sales? Of course, taas ang iyang sales because taas siya customers perhaps. Not perhaps, but nanagid siya. So, daghan siya og customers. Now, another good question is, why is it able to have lots of customers? Why is the business being able to retain customers? Why is the business have such loyal customers nga magbalik-balik gyud? So that is the second perspective, the customer perspective, because it takes into a deeper understanding why the business was able to achieve this one financially. Okay, nganong taas ang sales? Because daghan siya customers. So, what are the customer perspective di ay? Unsa di ay ang perspective sa mga customers? So, taas ba og customer satisfaction ang mga customers? That's why magbalik-balik sila. So, mga loyal ang mga customers, na retain ang ilang mga key customers, ang ilang sales revenue per customers taas. Okay, so it has higher quality service, so it's on your modules na i-guide the adto class. So all those things. So that's for the customer perspective. Now, another deeper question. Let's go to another perspective. So, the business is, for example, higher sales because daghan siya customers, magbalik-balik niya. But another question is, how is the business being able to retain such customers? Diba? There's always a reason to that. Wala man na siya ingon nga, nikalit lang siya, bzing, daghan siyang naangabot yung customers. There were always, naadjud siya yung mga reasons why. No? So, a good question is, what internal business processes nga naa sa usa ka organization that has affected the loyalty of the customers? So that's why the third perspective is the internal business processes. So after kanang examining the customer's perspective, i-examine na po dayo nato ang internal business processes. Unsa di ay ang mga processes nga naa sa business that enabled the business to retain loyal customers? Okay? So, is it able to improve operational efficiency and minimize problems? No? It has proper customer management relationship. No? So, naaday siya mga programs naaday siya mga customer service programs in the organization. What else? Does it have fast business decisions and approval? Like for example, I'm exposed to mga financing organizations. So 1-day process, 2-day process, no? So those are examples of internal business processes. Or wala kay mga nahitabong mga fraud sa usa ka business. Why? Unsa na ilang mga processes? Because maybe perhaps the business has strong internal control. That's an example. Okay. So that's for the third perspective, the internal business process. Okay. Now, let's go to the fourth perspective. Okay? Let's go to the fourth perspective. The fourth perspective answers the question. Take note, class, that for example, the company has good customer service program. That's why it is able to retain clients. Okay? So, another good question is, ngano man nga ang usa ka business naaman sila'y good customer service nga program? How was it able to implement such programs. So that would lead us to the fourth perspective, which is learning and growth. Posible di ay, okay, nga naman nga maayo man pagka-implement ang customer service program sa usa ka business. Nganong maayo man pagka-manage ang usa ka business, nganong maayo man pagka-implement ang ilang mga internal controls. Why? It's because the people in the organization are equipped with the knowledge, the skills, the competencies needed to implement those programs. And that is what is the fourth perspective is all about, that is the learning and growth. No? Because the people in the organization has competencies. It has good training programs, the people are the employees are satisfied. The employees have high morale in terms of their work, no? So competent, their people are competent. So that is actually, class, the four perspectives in a balanced scorecard. So as you can see, from just examining the financial perspective, which is usually the case in measuring a business success, it actually digs deeper into the reasons why those business organizations are able to achieve success in terms of its finances. Okay? So, with that, class, I hope that I was able to explain it to you ang mga four perspectives sa balanced scorecard. And take note, class, take note, everyone, that the balanced scorecard, it does not just start or end sa pag-identify ani. It's, again, the balanced scorecard is easier said than done. Dili lang ang balanced scorecard taman sa strategic planning session. Because this balanced scorecard, the identified mga perspectives sa usa ka business sa balanced scorecard would then be used sa iyaang performance management system. Because again, a balanced scorecard is a management approach. Dili lang kay siya para pang strategic planning. The balanced scorecard will be used in implementing performance management system of the organization. Like for example, sa iyaang financial perspective, higher profits. Okay, this perspective will then be translated into SMART objectives. Diba? SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bounded. This will be converted into objectives. And these objectives will then be cascaded to the entire organizations. Remember, this is performance management system. This is a management approach. Dili lang siya kay para pang discuss lang sa strategic planning, but there is a purpose why organizations are identifying this perspective. Because these perspectives will then be used in implementing performance management system. Mauna ni siya basihan dayon, class, sa mga i-achieve sa kada employees in the organization. Sa financial, okay, higher sales. So that's why all the branches will have these targets. Gibahin-bahin. Like for example, 100 million ang target sa entire organizations. This will then be cascaded to other branches. Sa customer perspective, like for example, customer satisfaction, dako day sila customer satisfaction. That's why it's able to attract customers. So, unsa day ang how does an organization measures customer satisfaction? Maybe perhaps the organization will set a standard. Dapat ang ato ang customer satisfaction survey result should be 90 higher. Okay? So if it's not 90 higher, it's unacceptable. So that means all the branches, all the offices sa ila ang customer satisfaction survey ratings, dapat 90 pud sila above. Okay? That's how you implement it. And then, sa internal business processes, like for example, let's use the example sa customer service program. the customer service program is naa sila customer service program. How is it being implemented? So, their goal would then be, okay, every employee should be able to undergo customer service program. So, in terms sa HR, because usually HR mo implement man ana nga particular nga program, so HR will then be measured in terms of how is it able to train employees sa customer service. So, that's how it's being used. And for the learning and growth, because people are highly competent, no? There is learning and growth in its people. So, how will then this be measured? So, it should be measured whether these employees, are they competent in these things? So, if not, the company will have to address that. I-train na nila. If trained na sila, then well and good. Okay, so that is how the balance scorecard is being used. So it's a holistic management approach, but again, it's easier said than done, class. Because pag moingon kag holistic, so gikan sa pag-set sa target down into implementation and then down to performance monitoring and down to connect pagani ni siya sa compensation and benefits, because rewards will then be connected or will then be anchored into those objectives. Okay, so that's how a balanced scorecard goes in the organization. So I hope I was able to impart just a little bit sa inyo ang understanding about balanced scorecard. So with that being said, murag it's almost time na para mulag ina ko sa among class. So bye class. So I hope be safe. So this has been Ana Flor Adrias, your instructor in performance management class. Bye!